Welcome. Give everybody a chance to join in. Come on forward here. Okay. Hi, everyone. Just getting organized here. Whoops. Okay. I'm just giving the audience a chance to build, and then we'll get started. Hi, Alexandria. Hi, Tammy. Corinna. Okay. Hi, Cynthia. Okay, I'm going to give it just another minute, and while I wait, I am going to give my pendulum some Reiki to charge it here, because I just cleansed it. So just bear with me while we wait. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Carol. Hi, Melanie. Okay, I'm just charging my pendulum real quick while we wait. Anyway, I've missed you all. I'm so glad that you're joining. Yeah, I'm better, so to speak. Let's put it that way. I still have some craziness going on in my life right now, including mostly what I'm suffering and dealing with is just ascension symptoms, light symptoms, the shifts in the energy lately, the gateway, everything that's happening with astrologically affects me really hard. Being empathic plus having a chronic illness just means that all the energy shifts, stress, and everything just completely floor my energy and fatigue me extremely. So a lot of times when I have to cancel or postpone, that's exactly why, because I am so fatigued that I have no energy. And that's not good for a reader, not someone that actually needs the energy to connect. So I am feeling well enough that I wanted to at least get on here for a little bit tonight. Not sure how long we'll go. We'll just have to wait and see. I usually say it's not going to be that long, and then it turns out to be that long anyway. So we're just going to play it by ear, and we'll see how we go. I think these energies have been affecting my son also, who has just been crazy with his behavior lately, stressing me out big time. He's extremely sensitive, so it definitely affects him as well. Okay, so what did you say, Cynthia? Oh, well, my pendulum can only answer yes or no answers, so it won't be able to tell me what it's made of. I can tell you, this one is copper. Excuse me, this one is copper, but I also use my wooden one a lot. But this one I just cleansed, so that's why I'm charging it with some Reiki. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Alexandria. Okay, Jennifer, thank you for telling me. All right. Okay, so anyway, to be honest with you, it's been a little while since I read because I didn't even book any private appointments over the last few days, just making sure that I bounce back and am able to do good, clean, accurate readings. So even though it's not like it's been weeks or months, it has been a few days. So it might take me a little bit to get back in the groove, but we will get there. Oh yeah, Alexandria, I actually have a smaller wooden one that's only about this big. I don't have it in here with me at the moment, but it just looks like a teardrop, like an elongated teardrop, and it's only about 1.5 to 2 inches long. But this one is the large one, and I use this one for everything, but the reason I have this one specifically is for healing. This type of wooden pendulum is extremely good for healing purposes of all kinds. Transcendental dowsing, healing, clearing your chakras, balancing all the energy and everything, but especially for pain and releasing things. So the wooden ones that have the circular indentations in them are really the best for healing purposes. It's kind of an all purpose one, where the other ones you use for different purposes. You can use crystal pendulums for healing as well, but my vibration is extremely high, and for some reason crystal pendulums don't always work as well with people that have really high energy. The crystals work great for everything else. It's just the pendulum and transferring that energy from myself to the person I'm trying to heal. Okay. Cynthia asked, does the pendulum work fine, or does it have to be a specific material? Hold on just a moment. I'm going to go back and see what comments I missed here. Let me see here. On Carol Haas, are you sure it is for this list for Friday night? Because I don't remove anybody from the list until I have read for you. We never take your name off of the list until I know for sure you've been read, and then you can always have your name put back on. Let me see in the comments if I can find you on the comments. Anyway, the reason I'm asking is, do you, Carol, do you know, have you happened to put your name on any of my other lists? Okay. I'm not sure what you meant by that, Carol. The head of music that night. Not sure if that's a typo or what you meant by that. I don't know if your name actually got added yet. Let me see here. If I can get back to it. Okay. See, Storm's not on this list. And I'm looking to see if you were ever. Okay. I think all it is, Carol, is no worries. I don't think you actually ever got added to the list yet. You're still in order. No, you're still in order. What it is Nicole is my list master, and she takes care of it for me, but she wasn't here last week. She's in the process of moving and a bunch of different things going on. And I don't think it doesn't look to me like she updated some of the names to the list, but since your name's in the comments, you'll still be added. Yeah, Mona, Katie, Kaboom. Let me double check these names. Yeah, it just looks like the people that have added their name in the last week haven't been added. She didn't get around to adding them, but that's fine, because what happens is when I get to the bottom of this part, the list, the names that are on the list, I go to the comments anyway, and I go in the order of the comments of who signed up in those comments. So you're still on the list, you're just not seeing it on the physical list yet. I hope that makes sense. But at the end of every, like after each reading, Nicole usually goes and adds the names from the comments onto the list, and it just looks like she didn't get around to doing that this week yet, which is perfectly fine, because once I get to the bottom of the names that are on the list that would have been in front of you anyway, then we start going down the comments and pick up where we left off. So you'll still be in line where you're supposed to be. Okay, so everybody that has joined, thank you for joining. And about the pendulum real quick, just to answer your question. Yes, it depends on the purpose. If you're just asking basic yes and no questions, connecting to your higher self or to your guides, then no, it doesn't matter what kind of material it is. It can be anything from an actual pendulum to a necklace to a string with a safety pin at the end of it. It could be anything if you're just asking yes or no questions. But once you start getting into the transcendental dowsing, where you're sending energy long distance, or healing, things of that nature, then you need a specific type. And if you're interested in learning more about that, you can go to my videos section. When you come back out of this video that you're watching right now, look on the main page, and on the side, depending on what device you're on, it'll either be listed on the side, the options, or across the top of the screen. And it'll have videos. Click on that video, and somewhere in those videos, I have a free pendulum class that is very detailed. It goes into all the details about everything that you need to know about what kind of pendulum to choose, how to cleanse it, program it, charge it, and how to ask the proper type of questions and all that. So if you're interested in that, please go ahead and check that out, because I think you'll find it really interesting. And a lot of people think you can just pick up a pendulum and use it, and sometimes you get lucky and you do get accurate answers, but most of the time people get frustrated and they're like, oh, my answers are only accurate half the time, or they're not that accurate. And that's why, because you have to prepare it properly. And there's a lot of things that can interfere. It's not as simple as just picking one up and it working easily. So anyway, thank you so much. I have missed you all very, very much. Hi, Renee, my love. I got your message. Thank you. I've been having a hard time getting back to everybody, but so glad to see you. Hi, Tiffany. So anyway, I haven't been here in a couple weeks for those of you that don't know what's going on. But I am back, and I am hoping to go as long as I can this evening. If you're just joining, I did mention my energy is still a little bit low, so I'm going to take it easy and play things by ear, but I at least wanted to get on and get some readings in for you, let you know how much I've missed you. I really do miss seeing everybody when I'm not able to connect. So I'm very grateful to be back here with you all. Now, if you've never seen me before, I give my quick little spiel, but I'm going to keep it brief and fast because I want to get right into some readings. If we have any technical difficulties, if this video freezes up, go back out of it, wait a few minutes. Now, this is if the whole thing freezes up. If it's just on your end, we keep going. But if it's on my end or Facebook's end and it freezes, please go back out and wait just a couple of minutes and you'll see the new live feed pop back up. I got my internet fixed. This is the first time I'm using it since I got new internet, so I'm hoping that we will have no problems. But if we do, I am going to try to go through the actual Facebook app. Right now I'm on the browser, and that in the past has been the best way for me to use it, but the last few times that I had problems, I had to go out of the browser and go into my app. So basically all I'm saying is if we have technical difficulties, don't fret, just go back out, wait a minute, and hopefully I'll be able to start a new video pretty quickly. But hopefully my new internet will keep all that from happening. But my name is Angel, and I am a psychic and a medium. Some people are both, some are not. So I always like to specify that I do have the ability to connect with those that have crossed over. I have the ability to connect with our guides, our spirit guides, loved ones, and angels and divine beings, some ascended masters and different beings like that. I also am able to read people, but my specialty, living people, but my specialty is spirit. And I am able to receive messages clairvoyantly, which is through images in my mind. I can get video sometimes, but usually it's still images. I'm also clairsentient, so I receive feelings, emotions, and energy from spirit, so they can help me to feel what they experienced or what they want you to experience. And I also can hear them clairaudiently in my head, which is telepathically, so I basically hear a voice in my head with a message, and it can be broken, it can be whole. So when I receive a message, I have to give you the bits and pieces of the puzzle sometimes, and then we put it together to create the message. But usually I am able to decipher it, and if not, I'll just give you those pieces to see what it means to you. Now, I do have some problems with names sometimes, so please let me know if I say a name and it doesn't make sense, but it's very similar to the name of a loved one that would make sense. It's okay, please do correct me, because I may just have a letter or two off or have switched them, and that is very normal with somebody with my clairaudience. It can be fuzzy sometimes. So please do let me know. And if somebody doesn't make sense to you, it very likely will by the end of the reading, or it may be for somebody else that's with us and joining, and we'll figure that out as we go along. Penny Lane, well, Nicole is going to be joining us to help with the list shortly. I wasn't sure because I couldn't touch base with Renee if she'd be able to join, so I do have the list up in front of me. I am going to attempt to do it till Nicole gets here, but if it gets a little too much, then I might ask you to help Renee or Penny Lane. But for now, I think we'll be okay. But that's how things pretty much go, and I just need a couple of things from you. If you would like to be read, I need you to add your name to my list. And as we just discovered, the list wasn't updated this week, so there are some names that would be ahead of you that aren't actually on the list. The list does look long, but the majority of the people are not here. So don't worry about that. There's still a chance and opportunity that you could be read this evening. It just depends on who's present. And I will figure that out, and we'll go whoever is here and take them off the list in order. If you'd like to be read, all you have to do is go out of this video. You'll be able to come right back into it, but go out and go to the main page of Divinity, Trinity, and Wee Bit of Me. And pinned on that main page, should be towards the top, but it might be just a couple things down, is the sign up list. It has a picture, a black and white picture of a man that has like a shadow image next to him. It says sign up list. Just put your name in the comments and you will be automatically added to the list that way. If you can't find it there, when you see the little link options to the side, either on the side of the screen or across the top of the screen, you can go to the notes section and click on notes, and the sign up list is pinned there as well. So please put your name in the list, and hopefully we'll get to you tonight. But if we don't, your name will stay on the list until you are read and or you ask me to remove it. So if you can come back next week, we'll do it then. We don't remove your name. It keeps coming back up every week, and you'll remain there until we get you a reading. So as you probably heard at the beginning of the talk when I first joined, a lot of people are mentioning that I wasn't here last week. I do apologize. That is because I do have chronic health issues. I also have a special needs son. So anything can come up with me at any time, and that's why it's mentioned in that list that the times and the readings are subject to change. I really try to stick to Friday nights around the same time, between 9 and 10 p.m. I'm sorry, whenever I stop, it's because I'm reading comments. No, Renee, it's okay. I'm not worried. I mean, whoever's here is here. I mean, we've got a big, long list. So she'll probably come back if she left. Because I told her that her name's being added. Her name's still on the list. It just wasn't put on the main list yet. It's still in the comments. But once I get down past the end of the names that are on the list, then I'll go to the comments. So she knows it's probably going to be a while, but thank you, Renee. Okay, so let's get started, because I know that there's not even close to the amount of people that are on this list. So what I'm going to do really quick is ask you, if you're here with us and your name is on the list, even if you put it in the comments and it hasn't been added to the list yet, can you please put your name? We're going to do what we call a roll call in live readings. That saves me sitting here reading off all these names of people for this list that aren't here. So if you can please put your name in the comments right now, not on the list, but right now in the comments of this live feed, to let me know you're here if your name is on the sign up list and you want to be read. So everybody that's here, just please put your name in the comments. Just type your name or say here, and I'm going to write you down right now, and then I'm going to check it to the list and pull people off the list in order that way. So give me just a moment to do that. Got Danielle, Jennifer, Storm, Danielle, gotcha, Tammy, Cynthia, okay, all right. Anyone that's not put their name there that wants to be read, that's on my sign up list, please put your name in the comments so that you're accounted for. And so far, it looks like, okay, Melanie and Anita, gotcha. So far it looks like Cynthia might be first, but I'm going to double check that. Okay, Penny Lane, gotcha. Stacy. Great. Yes, Cynthia Chi, you are up first. Okay. Then it looks like it'll be, unless somebody else steps in before I'm finished with Cynthia, that's ahead of you. At this point, right now, it looks like Melanie will be next after Cynthia. So Cynthia, Melanie, and then Anita, then Jennifer. Cynthia, Melanie, Anita, and Jennifer at this point. And now that's barring anybody that's ahead of you coming in during those readings. But that's where we stand over right now. Okay, so real fast, and then we'll get started with Cynthia. I need a few things from you if it's your turn. I need to know what kind of a reading you want. And by that, I mean, do you want mediumship? Do you want to talk to someone that's passed over, a loved one, or your spirit guides, your angels? Do you want that, or would you like a card reading? Now, for card readings, I have past life card readings. This is an oracle deck. It often, though, triggers intuitively mediumship messages from your guides. So if you want to know something about a past life, you want to know what past life you should be working on, we can do that. I also have regular oracle cards like angel oracle cards, psychic tarot oracle, which is an actual oracle card deck that's very similar to tarot. But if you want something a little different, out of the norm, I have a fairy oracle deck that has beautiful images of fairy and different elemental beings on them. And then I have this really neat Anubis oracle deck, which is all about shamanic journeys, trying to reach your inner soul and connect with your shamanic side. It's a journey into shamanic mysteries of Egypt. Every card has a Egyptian god, a goddess, or ascended master on it, but it's really personal to you and what you can work on to become more organic, natural in yourself and how you approach things on your spiritual journey. So you can do the mediumship, we can do cards, or we can do a pendulum reading, which is asking yes and no questions with the pendulum, and often then I get messages too. But the other alternative would be a combined reading, which is a combination of all of that put together. So if you want all of that put together and we just take what comes as it comes, say a combined reading. So I need to know that first, what type of reading you would like. Then I need to know whether or not you would like to connect with anybody specific. So if you have a loved one or a spirit guide you'd like to connect with. And last, I need to know if you have a specific question or not. If you have specific questions or a specific loved one you'd like to connect with, you're going to get more intricate details. It'll be more personal of a reading. But if you don't, we can still just see who comes through for you, not have a real question, just see what their message is, but it'll be a much more broad, general message and reading overall. So when it's your turn, I need to know all those things from you. And Cynthia, if you could go ahead and let me know those things, what type of a reading you'd like, if you have a specific loved one you'd like to connect with, and if you have a question, go ahead and type that for me. And if it's your turn, please let me know if you answer me, please let me know what you're answering to. So if you just say yes or no in the comments, I might not know what you're talking about, what you're referring to. And the reason for that is because the comments can lag and get behind quite a bit, and I may ask 2 or 3 different questions before I even see your first answer. So by the time I come back to your answer, I won't know what question you're answering at that point, if you even heard all the questions or what. So please be more detailed in what you're answering. Doesn't have to be a big long sentence, but at least just let me know that yes, you just graduated from college. No, your mother is not passed. Whatever the question is that I'm asking, just give some reference to that question in your answer, please. That will save us a lot of time and energy having to repeat the questions and waiting on those answers, and it may make the difference on somebody else getting a reading at the end, actually having an extra reading. Okay, Cynthia. Combined guides and angels, okay. Cynthia. Guidance with spiritual and psychic development. Okay, great. I can see it, Cynthia. And that is quite normal, trust me. You're not the only one. Spirit, if you've never seen a live reading before, Spirit has a way of trying to hide the messages sometimes. Literally, somebody will type their question 3, 4, 5 times and none of us see it. Or only 1 or 2 people can see it and they have to retype it for that person. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. I think sometimes Spirit interrupts to try and get somebody else to go first ahead of that person, or they're just overzealous, or they're playing tricks. I don't know, but it happens often. So Cynthia, you are not the only one, I assure you. That is always a lot of fun. Okay, so give me just a second to connect with your guides and see who comes through for you. Okay, I heard the name Marco, Cynthia. I think it may be a guide, but can you let me know if you are familiar with a Marco? Could be living, deceased, family member, friend, coworker. Let me know, or let me know if you have a guide that you are aware of named Marco, but I just heard the name at the moment. Let me see what I can find out. And also heard the name Jenna. So both of those names, Cynthia, if you can let me know, Marco or Jenna. Okay, no Marco. What about a Jenna? I'm pretty sure they're guides, but I always ask just to make sure, because it could be a loved one that's passed over that's a guide. And I don't want to assume and just tell you this is a guide and then never let you know that it's also your great aunt or cousin. Okay. Yes, Marco is a spirit guide. He was human, so he's an actual human spirit. Short, sandy blonde hair. Thin, white. Looks like he may be in it, appearing to me in his early 30s. This is funny. This is a first. He's actually appearing to me with no shirt on and like swim trunks, like he's at the beach. So he must have really liked the beach before he passed, because I've never actually had one appear to me topless. I have a feeling he was a surfer. Okay, and let me check on Jenna here. He's quite cute, Cynthia. Kind of reminds me of, oh, what's his name? Jeez. I just blanked on his name, but he was the, is it Christopher? He reminds me of the guy, the actor from the movie The Blue Lagoon with Brooke Shields, but grown, like a grown man. His hair is just a little darker, like a sandy color. He looks similar to him. And Jenna is an angel. She's got long brown hair, wavy, semi-curly. Light complected. I'd say appearing like she's in her late 20s. Okay, yeah, so we have Marco, who's a spirit guide, and Jenna, who's an angel. They're the first ones stepping up right away. They're telling me, Cynthia, you're absolutely on your right path. You're doing the right things. They're telling me you just need to practice more on developing your abilities, keeping it fresh, keeping it, they're showing me a muscle, like as if you have to flex that muscle, you have to exercise that muscle, and if you don't exercise it, you can lose the muscle tone in it. Well, it's the same way with your abilities. If you work hard at your abilities for a while and you start to develop them, and then you stop for quite a while, or you don't do it as frequently as you need to, you actually start to backslide a little bit, and you can start to lose that muscle or lose that ability. You don't lose it completely. It never is completely gone. Just the strength of it and what you've worked up to up until that point is going to weaken and kind of take a step back. So I don't know what your regiment has been, what you've been doing, if anything yet to this point, to develop your abilities spiritually, psychically, but they're just wanting to remind you that you need to practice daily. And if you miss a day or two, that's fine. Don't beat yourself up about it. No big deal, but just get right back into doing something to practice it. They're telling me scrying more. Are you familiar with what scrying is, Cynthia? Because they're saying that will help with your clairvoyance, your telepathy as well. Let me know if you're not aware what that is. I can explain it. Oh, they're saying keep your vibration up as high as you can. And they're saying really, they said they know it's really hard right now and it's been very challenging, but try and stay as positive as possible. They're saying try and stay in a positive as much of a positive attitude as possible. That sounds redundant, huh? And staying in gratitude as much as possible. Those two things are extremely important right now. Scrying is Scrying, and it is basically I can actually send you something on it, Cynthia. I'll send you some information, but basically all it is staring into an object that has a reflection or a glow to it. So it can be anything with a reflection. It can be a mirror. It can be a candle light, a candle flame. It can be a bowl with some water in it that when you put some type of light on it has a reflection off of the water. It can be sitting on a lakeside at calm water and staring into it. And basically what you do is you dim the lights as much as possible, at least in the beginning while you're getting used to this and practicing. You need to have it really dim. So you can like turn out the lights and light a candle, or have just like a night light on, or like a salt lamp is what I do. And then have your object, your mirror, your candle or whatever, and you place it in front of you, and you just relax your gaze. You stare at it and just kind of daydream till the point where you relax your gaze so much that your eyes almost kind of cross. They may water a little bit. They may even hurt a little bit. That's okay. Don't be afraid to blink. Go ahead and blink. It just hurts worse if you don't. You might lose your gaze. If you do see something, you will lose your vision for a second of not your vision, but your focus on it for a second, and you'll have to readjust, but that's okay. With time and practice, it gets easier and easier. And basically what happens is, after a while of doing this, you start to see images. You'll actually start to psychically see images. It could be, and it's usually your spirit guides or someone that has passed over, a loved one, or somebody from a past life. You will see a lot of people, and usually it'll start flashing like faces in front of you. It can even look like elementals. Some of them might look like monsters, but don't fear. It's totally safe. There's nothing can hurt you. These are light beings that are connected to you in some way. They are either, like I said, your guides or somebody that you knew before being born in another dimension or from a past life. So these are people that care about you. It's nothing that's going to hurt you. It can be scary. Sometimes they look like inhuman, but that's because in other dimensions, there are beings that we're not used to seeing in this dimension. But it's totally safe. I always recommend, that you do some form of grounding or protection before you do any kind of exercise psychically or to connect with spirit. So if you do that, it's going to protect you even if something negative did try and come through, but it won't. It's all positive. You just trust that and believe it, and you'll be fine. Because in this particular type of an exercise, it's safe. And you can ask your guides before you start to protect you and help you with this. It will take a little while. It takes a while for your eyes to adjust, but it doesn't take too long. You may need to walk away and come back and do it another day. You might do it for 15-20 minutes and say, this is all I can handle for tonight. That's okay. Come back the next day. It does help to amplify the energy around you while doing it. So drinking a lot of water, keeping crystals next to you while you're doing it, or holding them in your hand. Anything you can do to up your vibration. If you meditate beforehand, that would be helpful. I even know people that have sat in bathtubs, brought their mirror or their candle in next to the tub, and sitting in the water helps amplify it. So if you're struggling, try something like that, but usually it only takes a time or two, 3 times usually at the latest before you start to see things, and then you practice it. This is a fantastic way. It's one of my favorite ways, but Spirit seems to like it because they recommend it a lot. And you'll start to notice the more you do it, you'll start to continue to recognize the same faces that you see. You might see dozens of faces, but there'll be 2 or 3 or 4 faces that you recognize that are there all the time. And chances are those are some of your guides. And it might even trigger like a memory, a soul memory or something that you recognize them even though you don't know who they are. You don't think you do. Let me catch up on your comments here. Okay, great. Then your soul's already trying to tell you, your guide's already trying to tell you that this is the method they want you to use, that this is helpful for you. And it sounds like if you've been drawn to it lately, you're hearing that. You're hearing those messages. Yeah, it's very common. It just looks like flashes at first, but yes, you will actually see things. As long as you stick with it, it will work. It will work. I was a little skeptical. I didn't know how that could help or what I'd actually see. I was shocked the first time that I saw faces, and I was floored. It is the neatest thing. Once you start seeing them, it's really, really exciting. Then you know you're clairvoyant. You have some form of vision. And everybody does to some degree. You may not be really great at it, but everybody can and does have this ability to see these things in a reflective object. You may not see them in your mind's eye if that's not your ability, your natural ability, but you'll be able to see them with your own eyes through this practice. But I will send you that information, though, to give you a little more insight about it. You will actually see faces. In fact, the face will be over top of your face. Like you won't even be able to see your face anymore. So what you want to do while you're staring at, if you're like looking in a mirror, this is the case. Now, if you're looking at a candle or something, that's not going to be the case. You'll just start seeing faces and images. But in a mirror, their face will appear over your face. You'll want to like pick a certain spot to stare at in the mirror, like your third eye or your nose. Some people look at the ear and look right past the ear and try and stay focused on that one spot. And then you'll start, it looks like your eyes are playing tricks on you. All of a sudden you start seeing things and you start going, am I really seeing that? And as you continue to look, all of a sudden faces will start flashing across. Do you remember, I think it was the black and white video, Michael Jackson's black and white video, where all the different faces flash, all the different ethnic backgrounds and different colored people. If you remember that video, that's what it's like when you're doing it in the mirror. Now, when you're doing it in a bowl or water or a candle, it's not going to be over your face, but you'll still see it in the reflection. It's super cool. Okay. Moving on, let's see. Yes, I will, Cynthia. I will ask them. But they weren't quite finished telling me a couple more things that you can do that they want you to do. So let me get to that first, and then we'll ask them about any potential blocks. Hi, Savannah. Okay. They said they really want you to up your connection with crystals. They want you to carry black tourmaline with you in your pockets or someplace on your person. It can be in a sock, it can be in your bra, it can be pocket, wherever you can hide it, or you can wear it as a necklace, and amulet, earrings. They're saying that will help keep your energy in a good place. That and clear quartz. Those are the two they want you to work with right now. Wearing them or keeping them next to you, like while you're sleeping, either next to your pillow or under your pillow, wherever it's safe that you won't, scratch your face on it or something. if you have a nightstand right next to the bed or a ledge that you can set them on. They want you to keep them, make sure they're charged, like with moonlight, sunlight, or Reiki. Yeah, they want you to keep them charged, to keep them close to you, carrying them. And they're suggesting for you, Cynthia. Now, these are things that anybody can do, but these are specific to you based on what your guides feel are going to work for you. They're telling me sandalwood for you, Cynthia. They'd like you to use sandalwood, and it can be in the form of a spray. It can be in the form of an essential oil, a cologne or perfume that has it, not just the scent, but the actual sandalwood in it, which the essential oils would have it in it. I have, where's mine? I have sandalwood cologne that has the actual sandalwood in it. And it actually smells very nice. But they're saying for your specific abilities and to raise your vibration and help bring you up spiritually, they want you to use sandalwood. So you can use it as a perfume, just spray this cologne on. It clears your energy, keeps you balanced and grounded, and it really does help with clairvoyance. It helps with visions and dreams, a lot of things. Sandalwood's amazing. So either water, cologne, essential oils, just make sure it's not just the fragrance, because then they can use chemicals to try and match the smell, and they add it to candles or things like that, wax melts, to give you the scent, but it's not going to do the same thing as real sandalwood. So now I'll ask them your question, but those are the things they're saying. Scrying, crystals, those specific crystals, black tourmaline and clear quartz. You can use others too, but excuse me, my throat is a little dry. Do the water instead. Keeping hydrated. They said yes. I think that's why they made me take the drink. As they made my throat dry. And as soon as I took the drink, they're like that. The water. Stay hydrated. They're telling me, they're saying you're usually pretty good about staying hydrated, but there's times that you don't. And this can interfere with keeping your vibration up. So scrying, crystals, sandalwood, and the drinking the water. And they said, make some attempt to connect with spirit every day. You can just be them or a past loved one. Contacting them, talking to them, opens your heart space to them. It opens your abilities faster by trying to make some form of connection with them every day. They're just saying, do something every day, and you will start to see progress. You will start to see things coming in. Asking them for help wherever you feel you need it. Now I'm asking them about the blocks, any potential blocks. Okay. First of all, they said yes, but no worries, because we all have some form of blocks. Some of us have giant ones that are standing in the way of everything. Some of us have very small ones, but there's still some form of block that we all have that stands in the way of our full potential. Some of us have smaller ones, so we do better, but we're still not to our full potential. So they're saying, don't get too caught up or worrying about that. Just ask them for help and they'll guide you. But they're saying, yes, you do have a few blocks. They're saying fear is one for you, Cynthia. Trying to get out of a place of fear and move it to a place of faith and trust. So when you start to fear things, try and change your perception of the way you're looking at whatever it is that you're afraid of. Try and reverse that situation, that your perception, and make it a positive, so that you won't be as fearful. They said, give us that fear, Cynthia. Whatever you're afraid of, give it to us. Let us carry that burden for you. And then trust us. Trust us to help you and guide you and see you through it. Trust God, creator, source of whatever you call our God, creator, source energy. Trust that the universe, your guides will handle whatever it is that you're concerned with and afraid of, because your fear is blocking some of your things that they want to help you come in with. And worry as well, worrying too much about different things. It lowers your vibration, and everything that you're working so hard to do to raise your vibration is then for naught, because you're bringing it right back down with the worrying and the fear. So they're saying, please look to us. Let us help you. Give those fears up to us by telling us what they are, asking us to take them from you, and then sit in quiet as much as you can and think about the item that you are scared of, that you're afraid of, whatever it is. Think about it, and then set the intention. I am giving, and say this to yourself in your mind or out loud. I am giving this fear of blah, 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 whatever it is, or I'm giving up the worrying about blah, 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 and I'm releasing it and letting it go in faith. Then take a deep breath while you think about that item. And while you're thinking about it, take in the air and the light of love and trust and faith, and think about that. Think about the item and say, I'm letting it go. I'm releasing this. And then on the out breath, blow it out and blow that fear and that worry, whatever it is, far away from you. And blow it into the universe and let the universe take care of it. And by doing that, you may have to do it more than once. You may need to do it another day when something else comes up. But when you feel yourself going to a place of fear and worry, as soon as you can, as soon as you're able, get to a place that you can be alone and do that. Even if you have to sneak to the bathroom for a few minutes and do that, and then release it. And then you have to remind yourself, if it starts to resurface later in the day or the next day, remind yourself that you already let that go. You don't need to think about it or worry about it anymore. It's being taken care of. That item is taken care of. You set the intention, you're letting it go, you're trusting the universe to take care of it. Now it's done. You don't have to think about it again. So you might have to remind yourself, because we're humans, so by nature we tend to worry and it comes back up. But the more you do that, the more you'll get to a place of trusting and having faith, and you'll be less likely to go to a place of fear or worry. And you'll automatically kind of get in the habit of doing this routine whenever you need to. And you'll actually feel yourself relaxing and lightening up. And that actual feeling of that lightening is your vibration going back up as that fear is being removed. And it's making space. As you're getting rid of that fear and that negative energy, it's making space for positive energy and love. So it's a really great way to remove those blocks that could be holding you back. Does that make sense, Cynthia? Oh, good. Thank you, Anita. Let me see what else they say before we move on. They're saying just start there for now, Cynthia. They're saying in time you're going to have more work. This is a process. And all of us, I don't believe that ascension and your spiritual journey is ever really over. You're always learning, you're always growing. And if you feel like you get to a point where it's over, something's wrong, especially if you're still living on the earth. So they're saying start here. Start with what they've given you. Focus on that. At some point, they're telling me you will need to do some past life work as well to release some things that are trapped deep at a soul level, things that you don't remember from past lives. But they're saying don't worry about that right now. Start here. Start simple, and we'll move on to that when the time comes. But for now, release these particular blocks and focus on the things that they suggested, the scrying and whatnot. And if you work on doing that, keeping your vibration up as much as possible each day, you will start to see a difference. It will get better and easier each day. And you'll find, oh, they're telling me don't forget how important meditation is too. Yeah, they're telling me to find a way, the way that is right for you to meditate. Practice, don't give up. All of this will become easier the more you do it. You're very welcome, Cynthia. I'm glad that it made sense, and you can keep me posted about it, and I will send that to you either tonight or tomorrow. If I don't get to it because it's too late tonight, then I'll do it tomorrow. I made a note of it. So good luck with that, but I do feel like you're on the right track. You're doing the right things. You have the intention and the heart for it. It's just flexing that muscle and every day till it becomes really used to, it becomes a habit for it, and it just knows what to expect. So your abilities and everything just automatically know what to do and work naturally because you have been working with them for so long. It just like anything else just takes work and working at it. But the great thing is this is fun work and it's exciting, and there's something new that comes up every day that fuels your fire and your passion for it. The more you do, the more exciting it becomes. So I think that you'll find that you really get more and more motivated as you go. So good luck with it. Okay, so can we, has anybody came in since and joined us since the beginning of Cynthia's reading? If you have just joined us since I began Cynthia's reading and your name is on the list, the sign up list, and you want to be read, can you please put your name in the comments for me? If nobody new has come in that's ahead of it was going to be, was it Melanie that I said was next? Let me see. Okay, hi Kimberly. Let me pull back up my list here. So we did, yeah, Cynthia, then we will go to Melanie. Let me check and make sure where Kimberly's at here. Okay, Savannah. Let's see. Okay, yes, Melanie. So if nobody else new has joined, which I don't think anybody else did besides Kimberly, Savannah. So Melanie, you're next. And then after Melanie, actually, is Corinna still here? Corinna Wesley? Corinna was here at the very beginning, but I haven't seen her since. Corinna, let me know if you're still here, hon. Okay. If Corinna's not still here, then after Melanie will be Anita. Then Jennifer. Then if nobody else comes in and I'm still going, then it would be Kimberly. Actually, Anita, I'll have to check in the comments because according to the list, she's not before you. I mean, if you'd like to trade places with her, we can do that, but she's not before you on the list. Let me see where she is exactly. Savannah. Okay. I gotta go to the comments field here. Okay. I got to, you know what? I don't see her in the comments either. I don't see her on the list at all, Anita. Do you think she may have been on the Tuesday night list? Which is fine either way. I mean, I can still put her in your place, but I don't see her on the Friday night list. I don't see her in the comments either. Okay. Well, that's up to you guys. I don't see her on the list unless we put her on the Tuesday night group list. But she's not in the comments either, so it's not that she just hasn't been updated unless she's way back in the comments, which is possible. I'm not able to see that far back on my phone, but I don't remember seeing her. But that's between you two. So would you like to wait? I can definitely put her in your, Savannah, if you want to take Anita's place, we can do that. It's totally up to you. But just FYI, if I did that, since she's not on the list, I would have to add you to the list, Anita, and it would put you at the bottom of the list. So whoever wants to go now is fine, and whoever wants to be at the bottom of the list, how about you guys work that out amongst yourself while I read Melanie so we can keep it moving? And then whoever I do now, or after Melanie, I will add the other to the list afterwards. So you guys discuss it, and I'm going to go ahead and start with Melanie, and I'll get back to you, but you're going to have to let me know what you decide because I'll only be able to read the comments a little bit as I go. So I'm reading Melanie's now. Combo, spirit guides, okay. Melanie Martin Robinson. All right, give me just a moment. And I'm going to yes, Savannah, I do. I have two separate lists. This one for Friday nights, and the Tuesday night list is in the Psychic Medium group. And I can check that one when we're done, but I can't at the moment because I'd have to go out and it takes a while to get back into this list. So I'm reading Mel's comment now. Okay. Okay. Okay, Melanie. That's fine. We can do that. We can connect with your guides. Not a problem. I can let you know who they are and who steps forward. But I'd like to know, since you're mentioning a couple of things here, I need you to go ahead and tell me the main thing, your main question. Is it what you said initially about just needing direction, or do you have something else you'd like to say? And the reason I say this is because in order to give everybody or as many people a chance tonight as possible, I need to focus on one question, and then if we have time, if it gets answered quickly, then I can go on to a second question. But we usually don't get past 2 questions, maybe 3 occasionally, but we really like to try and focus on your most important question, the one you want answered the most. That way, if it takes a while for guides to answer it, it may take up your whole reading. You won't regret that you asked something else first. So why don't you let me know what that would be, what your most important question would be, and then have like a second and a third one lined up. And if I can get to them, I will. But if it's taking too long, then at least you'll get a lot of info on the first one. It's all up to your guides and how much they answer and how detailed the message is. So while I wait for that, I'm going to go ahead and clear and connect with your guides. Okay. All right. Okay, I can definitely do that. Okay, I'm hearing the name Rachel and the name Jordan. Okay, so hold on just a second here. I got to get my battery plugged in here. Okay, so we're focusing on relationship first. Okay. And will you tell me, Melanie? I mean, I'm going to ask and find out who they are, but let me know. Do you know a Jordan or a Rachel? living or deceased, family member, friend, coworker. And while you let me know that, I will try and find out who they are. I just hear names at first. And I don't see them until I ask them to show me a picture of them or an image of them. So because that's the way it works, I just hear this name and I don't know if it's somebody telling me their name or if they're shouting out a name of someone that you would know to like validate. So like if your grandmother came through, she may mention your boyfriend's name or your child's name or somebody to let you know that it's really her and that she's aware that you have a boyfriend with that name. Okay. All right, so let me ask then if Jordan is a guide or if it could be somebody else. Oh wow, Storm. That's interesting. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure this is for Melanie, but thank you for sharing that because not only is that a cool synchronicity, but sometimes I do get others coming in, jumping ahead. So let me verify this. So thank you for letting me know. Hi, Michelle. Okay. Okay. All right. Yes. Sorry. Hold on. Okay. Actually, Jordan is for you, Melanie. And Jordan is a guide. It's a female guide. Actually, she's an angel. Angel. Okay. She got blonde, long blonde, curly hair. A lot of hair. She puts off a blue aura, so if you ever meditate and you see blue energy or light, it's very possible you're seeing her. She's even wearing a blue dress. Okay. I'm going to come back to the Rachel because I got to figure this out. Rachel is not a guide. Sorry, I'm listening to what they're explaining. Okay. All right, they're telling me to hold Rachel aside, that Rachel may be for somebody else. And now I'm hearing the name for you, Jensen. Jensen, how's that spelled? Kind of like Jensen. Jensen is your another guide stepping forward. Okay. Jensen is a spirit. Short brown hair. Male. White. Real thin. Say he looks like he's in his mid to late 20s. And Jensen and Jordan are the guides that are stepping forward at the moment. So I'm asking them now about your relationship. Okay. All right. I'm hearing that this relationship, that yes, he is sincere. They're telling me to check my relationship chart to give you some information, which is with the pendulum. So let me see here what they can tell me. I want these questions answered by Melanie's guides, Jordan and Jensen. Give me just a minute here. I'm asking a couple questions and then I'll put it all together and let you know all that I come up with. I hear it clairaudiently in my head, but I also double check it with the pendulum because a lot of times when I use the pendulum, it helps trigger more intuitive answers and messages. Okay. And what compatibility is Melanie? Oh, 0 to 100. So as I'm going here, I do feel that he's very sincere about the relationship, Melanie, and I am hearing that this is a relationship with a lot of potential and that it would be good for you to pursue if, and they always say this, if you feel it in your heart, because they'll tell you if it's good for you or not. They'll tell you if it has potential, but of course they give you the free will to choose what's in your heart. But I'm asking right now how compatible you are. And this means overall, I mean, you're not always going to be compatible with everything. So it's like, you know, I tell you you're compatible, but you argue a lot. Well, that doesn't mean you're not compatible. In fact, I always am a firm believer that if you argue, it's because you care. You care enough to put in that time and energy. And I'm showing that you guys are 80% compatible on a scale of 0 to 100%. And if I tilt this down a little bit, you can see it working. And I have my chart here. and it went straight to 80, which is a very good number. Means it's not 100%. Of course, you're going to have your differences, but overall, that's really good compared to a lot of relationships. So let me ask a couple more questions really quick here. Does this relationship have the potential to be short, medium, or long relationship? Okay, I'm asking the potential for the duration of the relationship, whether it'll be a short relationship, medium length, or long. Now remember, this is potential. This doesn't mean that this is exactly how it's going to turn out. Anything can change. You create your future. So your choices will dictate whether this comes true or not. But they're saying at this point, the potential being there for the capability of it working out, short, medium, or long term, is, and right now it's still moving, and it's going to long. It was hovering over medium for a while because it was building up the energy, and now it's moving to long. So this is telling me that, yeah, this has a lot of potential for a long-term relationship. And as long as you both continue to make the right choices and put each other first, this really can be a great relationship. So I want to ask one or two more quick little questions here just to give you a little more insight. What area needs some work that Melanie can work on in this relationship? And the reason I ask these specific questions when I do stuff like this is because they guide me to. So it's not like I just decided, oh, I want to ask each one of these. I mean, they tell me, you need to ask this. Let us show you that. You're very welcome. Yeah, I can ask that. Give me just a second after I get this question. Okay. You're going to hear eating now. My cat just decided to sit here and eat, and he eats very loud. So if you hear that noise, that's what that is. Okay. All right. So I asked what area you could work on, that you'll need to work on. And this means pretty much throughout the relationship. And out of emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual, I got physical. And I think that just means, Melanie, that you're going to need to, it sounds to me like there's going to be some challenges, some obstacles, nothing that you can't handle, that are going to make you need to put in a little extra effort to connect on a physical level with each other. You may have different things that keep getting in the way of being able to do that. Distractions, other people, business, deadlines, things like that, events that may come into play that prevent that. So they're just letting me know to, in that area, you may need to make a little extra effort to make it possible. And even if you're not struggling with that now, that's something that could, they're saying, be a problem in the future. So doesn't mean you can't work on it. This is their way of offering you the information in advance. Oh, so it does make sense now. Okay. Well, thank you for validating that, because, yeah, they're saying, you know, make the effort, even if things get in the way, be spontaneous, think outside of the box, do things that you may not normally do. Just to at least show that you're making the effort, because even if you're not successful that time, at least you know, he knows that you're really trying, and that prevents any resentment from building, and it can actually become like a laughable matter instead of a frustrating matter, because you guys will be know that you're both putting in the effort, you're trying, and things just aren't falling into place, but you're trying, and that really will make a difference to both of you, to know that you're making every attempt, and you at some point are going to be successful. So and it's much better than just being lackadaisical about it and ignoring it and letting it fester, and then the resentment can start to set in, and it can start to make a rift. So now I'm going to ask if it's possible that you're soulmates. I have a separate chart for that. So let me ask that real quick, and then we'll see if there's anything else before we wrap up. Okay. Soulmates, twin flame, either potential, or should you avoid? Okay. At least while I'm doing this much, you won't be able to see exactly where it's going, but you'll be able to see what I'm doing here. Okay. Are Melanie and her boyfriend soulmates? Always takes a minute to build up strength, and it often will go over one of the options that is not correct just while it's building up energy and strength, and then it'll eventually turn and go in the direction it needs to. Is that where you stay? Okay, staying in this one spot, so I'm just going to ask one more time before I decide that that's the option. Are we finished, or is that the choice? Fantastic. Okay, now, just because this is very serious and an important thing that you need to know, I'm going to verify it with the yes or no chart real quick. Okay. Well, this just validates what I heard intuitively, and that is, sorry if I'm making you dizzy here. No, you are not soulmates. You are actually twin flames. So that explains why you're compatible. That explains why there is long-term potential here. It started off going, I have on this chart, soulmate, darn it, everything's backwards. I'm not good at going backwards. Okay, soulmate, see with the camera, soulmate, twin flame, neither, but there's potential, or avoid this relationship. Started going straight for twin flame, but it will actually usually go there while it builds up energy, and then it will work its way over this way or that way. And this time it stayed. And as you heard me, I asked a couple times, are you sure that's where you're staying? And it didn't move. It stayed right over twin flame. But because that's such important information and I don't want to, lead you astray, I went ahead and asked the yes/no chart just to confirm but at the same time, I heard it in my head. So that's 3 validations that your current boyfriend is actually your twin flame. Now, I don't know how much you know about twin flame relationships. I strongly suggest that you research them. There's lots of information out there about them. Yes, it will be a very emotional relationship, extremely emotional. You'll feel a strong connection, and it's usually you don't come together to stay until you're meant to, meaning you've worked through a lot of your soul's journey and you've learned a lot of your life lessons. Most twin flames don't come together and incarnate in a lifetime and stay together unless they have gone through a lot of life lessons and a lot of their soul journey already, and they're either spiritually awakening or they're ready to spiritually awaken. And it does take time, and it can be a rocky roller coaster ride. And it can be very emotional on a good side and a bad side. You'll push each other's buttons. You will argue, but at the same time, you'll feel like you can't live without each other. You don't want to be apart. And you may break up. You may come back together. You may break up, or you may not. It may be easier. But it is not an easy road to be with your twin flame. The only reason I'm telling you this is because a lot of people think, well, if you do see your twin flame, sometimes you don't even incarnate in the same lifetimes together. But if you're lucky enough to, you feel that pressure, like you have to stay together, that you have to be together forever. And I say, don't put any expectations or pressure. I want you to learn about them. I don't know how much you know about them, but don't put expectations on this relationship. Don't let the words twin flame define your relationship and pressure you into, that's the way my brain works, Renee. I make up all kind of fabulous words because I'm not fabulous. But yeah, don't put the expectations on the relationship. Just let it come. Just let it, know in the back of your mind we're twin flames, and that explains a lot of what's going on. But just let it happen. Work at it. Love one another, but don't force it and don't expect anything, because that can actually put so much pressure on it that you can drive a wedge between you, or your expectations will allow you to be let down, and you don't want that. So thank you. Yeah, so just definitely relax and enjoy it. Know that you are twin flames, and whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen. And chances are, from what I'm seeing, it's looking really, really like it has so much potential, and that this really could be a great relationship long term in this lifetime. But don't feel like, if it's not working, that you can't separate. Because here's the thing with twin flames, when you're supposed to come back together for good to stay, you will. Inevitably, you will. It's going to happen. So if you don't, click right now and things aren't aligning right now, and I don't mean right now, but I mean 6 months from now, a year from now, don't feel like, oh my God, we got to get married, we got to be together forever. No, let it happen. If you're supposed to be together forever, you will be. And if you're not right now, you will be when the time is supposed to happen, in divine timing. Just remember that. But either way, this is fantastic. You know him. You know who he is. You're already together. You've already overcome the majority of the obstacles that most people in this world do encounter when they're looking for their twin flame. So this is really great news, and I say just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Appreciate one another. Be grateful that you have one another already, and just go with the flow. So I think, let me see, that was Jordan and Jensen. Okay, so we answered all the questions about the relationships. What I'm going to do, Melanie, oh, let me read your comment first. That would be helpful, huh? Thank you, Michelle. Okay, great. Yeah, so definitely enjoy it. And if what I was going to say is while I wait for Anita and look, trying to read here. Anita and Savannah, let me know what you decided. My goodness, you guys are confusing me between all this family. Just trying to keep it all clear. Yeah, Anita and Savannah, let me know what you decided about who's going to go now. And while we wait for that, please let me know, Melanie, did you? Okay. All right, so we'll put in Savannah then. Savannah for Anita, which means Anita, I'll add you to the list, add you back to the list, or I'll just move you down to the spot that Savannah would have been in. And then yes, after Savannah will be your turn, Jennifer. And Melanie, all I was going to say is while we wait on then Savannah, you can let me know what kind of reading you want. If you have anybody specific you want to connect with and any question. Melanie, do you feel like that was enough? I mean, do you think you got enough information about that? I feel like Jordan and Jensen want you to know them personally. So they're telling me that you can call on them for anything, Melanie. Okay, while I wait for that info, I'm going to disconnect from Melanie and prepare for Savannah. So I'll wait for your comments, Savannah and Melanie, while I do that. Okay. Moving on here. Anna, Martin. Okay. And Melanie. Okay, great. Yeah, we'll call upon them, maybe meditate and ask them to step forward, ask them to help you feel their energy and what they feel like, or to show themselves. Depending on your abilities, you'll either be able to see them, or you'll be able to feel their energy around you, or you might even hear them, or you may be lucky and have more than one of those abilities. But ask them, whatever your ability is, to show it to you so that you can see them, feel them, or hear them, to get to know them better. And then just talk to them, ask them for assistance and things, and then listen or watch for the answers. You may get it in all different kinds of ways. It's all dependent on what your abilities are. But definitely watch for that. Good luck, Melanie, with that and your relationship. Okay, Savannah, next steps. And grandfather. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So Savannah's guides. Okay. One guide. That's okay, Melanie. Okay, give me another. Okay. Sorry, just give me a minute. I'm figuring out who these two are and their descriptions. Okay. And okay. All right. So I've got two guides stepping forward for you. One is a male, one is a female. Even though they're actually angels, both of them are angels, which means angels really don't identify with a gender, but they'll appear one gender or another to give us an image of them to go by, because they know as humans we need something to recognize them as. And a lot of times you may not even see them in a physical body. If you meditate, you may only see them as a ball of energy or light. Sometimes they'll glitter, sparkle, and that's perfectly normal. It's all based on what your abilities are. For me, they show me an actual image of them, and you may get that image as well. And because of that, I give it to you, because then they will appear the same way to you if you see them that way. So then you'll recognize, oh, that's who Angel was talking about. But they may have different clothing on at that time, but you'll get the overall image. Their appearance will look the same. But you may not see them as a human figure or a physical body like I do. And that's perfectly normal. Just know you may not see them at all. You may only hear them or feel them. And that's normal as well. It just depends. But the first one is Jerome. And he is actually your guardian angel, which means you can have angels that are spirit guides, and they all kind of have a certain specialty that they help you with. And Jerome is one of your actual guardian angels, which means he's a protector. He's protected you since the day you were born, and he'll be with you your entire life. He appears to be, looking like he's Black or African American. I'm not sure if he's actually African American or African. Very handsome guy, very short black hair, muscular build, and he appears to me with like a tunic and armor on over it, a lot like Archangel Michael, and that's my symbol for a guardian angel. Most guardian angels, that's the symbol that they show me is they're wearing armor, when the other angels usually don't. That's their image of protection, that they're the protector. He looks to me now, age is also irrelevant with angels, but just so you know, to recognize him, he looks like he's in his mid-30s, I'd say. And then the second guide that's stepping forward is appearing as a female, but the name kind of could go both ways, and that is Sherrid, like with a D at the end. She is an angel, but she's just a spirit guide angel, meaning not a guardian angel, but she's fabulous nonetheless. She has long, it's shoulder length, strawberry blonde hair. It's kind of in between reddish and blonde. Very pretty, curly hair. Very pale complexion, like a lot of redheads are. And she's wearing a yellow dress, and her energy is a yellow with like a bluish tint to it. So she puts off both yellow and blue energy. Sometimes I can see their energy easily, sometimes I can't. I'm still working on seeing energy. I can feel it, no problem, but I don't always see it. She has a yellow dress with the yellow energy, like a golden yellow energy and some blue tint to it. And she appears like she might be in her early 30s. I don't feel like she's been with you your whole life, but she's been with you a long time. And she says she comes and goes. She's not always with you, but she is a lot of the time. And she will come if you call at any time. She's helping you with your spiritual path. And that's one of the reasons why she's stepping forward now. Okay. Asking her your question. Okay. Good. Okay. She is very clear. She said, as far as your life right now, it is very, very critical time right now for you to focus more than anything on your spiritual path, your spiritual awakening, your spiritual journey. She said this is a critical time in human history where we are preparing to basically ascend into the fifth dimension and create a whole new earth, bring earth back to a place of unconditional love. And many, many things are changing right now because of that. And it is critical, they're telling me, for you to focus on your spiritual path above education, above career. That's why 1111 is calling you to awaken spiritually. It's calling, and that's what I was going to say. Next, they're saying focus on your spiritual awakening, focus on your spiritual path, educate yourself about that. Do some research, follow their signs. There's 6 messages that you'll receive. The 1111 is one of them. If you haven't looked it up yet, I suggest you do so. But it is a calling to awaken for most people. it does have several different meanings, but it's the most common number you will see repeatedly at the beginning of your spiritual awakening. It's calling you to follow your life path, to find your life purpose, and to awaken. And right now, more than ever in human history, more people are awakening right now than ever. And the ones that are already awakened and awakening currently are called to be light workers for the rest that are going to awaken slower and later. And that basically means we need to be a beacon for those people. That some people are really going to be terrified when they learn about the changes that are happening. And there's nothing to fear. There's nothing horrible happening. And it's fantastic. It's amazing. It's wonderful stuff that's happening to help bring us into a better world of unconditional love. But a lot of the darkness is being revealed right now. Light is being shown on a lot of the shadows that have been across humans and our earth lately and over previous years. And because of that, it's scaring a lot of people. They don't understand what's happening. They see all these things happening that's bringing the darkness to light. And it causes a lot of fear and confusion. And those of us that are awakened sooner and faster are going to be able to shine our light and be a perfect example for those people, so they're not afraid, and they can see that we're not afraid, and they'll follow our example. That's what a light worker is. We just put out a light of unconditional love and compassion for others. And they're telling me they want you to find your life purpose. And the way to do that is to follow these messages, to follow the signs, to seek out and educate yourself about spiritual awakening. And by doing these things, your life purpose and mission will be revealed to you. And then everything else will fall into place. So if you're concerned about schooling, if you're concerned about a different career, if you're concerned about adding to your family, all of these things are going to fall into place and be focused on in time as you search out your spiritual path. So they're saying focus on your spiritual path now, your journey. Educate yourself, research about it, listen to these messages, pay attention to the things that are going on around you, and try and be very present so that you don't miss your guide's messages. And as you do that, you will be guided. You will see the guidance. Sorry, I got distracted seeing my kitty back there again. But your life purpose will be revealed, and then that knowledge of that will help everything else fall into place for you. It will clear up a lot of questions that you have, a lot of concerns, and it'll make things much more clear. The messages that they give you. Okay, Jinx, chill out back there. I don't recall saying anything about there being 6 messages. Did I say something about the number 6? But these numbers like 1111, 444, 666 is not a bad number when it comes to angel messages. 911 is not a bad number 911 is not a bad number when it comes to angel messages. These are just numbers that they use to get you to look them up. So when you see a number repeatedly, multiple times, or just at the right moment when you happen to look at the clock and you're thinking about or worrying about something, and you see a number that's a multiple or a coincidence, a synchronicity is what they call it, look that number up. So just go to Google or a search engine and put in angel number 1111 or angel number 911, and it'll bring up several different websites, actually quite a few, that explain what that message means, what that number is. And then stop and think about what you were doing at the time that you saw that number, or what's going on in your life at the moment that that message would apply to. And it always makes sense. It always resonates somehow. It blows my mind how much sense it makes. And it really will give guidance to the things that you need to know at that time and moment. And just take each day one step at a time. Don't try, it's okay to focus on the future, but make sure you put the biggest focus on the present and being present at the moment. Because if you're too focused on the future, then you can't be paying attention to what's going on around you here and now, and you'll miss a lot of those messages. But they will tell you what your future holds. And you can also find these things out through meditating, talking to these guides that I told you about, Jerome and Sherrod, or any other guides in meditation. You can also ask them to reveal things to you in your dreams. So before you lay down and go to sleep, set the intention that you will receive a message from them in your dreams, as well as remember it. Set the intention that you'll remember it. If you wake up not remembering, then ask them to make it easier to understand and remember next time. Let me see here what I was missing. Yes, I see 11s everywhere, all the time. Let me ask them about your relationship. But I want to, if you want to talk to your grandfather, we'll keep it brief about your relationship, unless you'd rather stay focused on that with them. Sorry, I'm trying to get my cable to work here on my computer. Okay, so let me ask them real quick about your relationship, just in general, what they think about it, and then we'll try and get a quick connection with your grandfather if we can, but then we'll have to move on to Jennifer, I think it was. But yeah, let's see. Okay. I'm confirming something with the pendulum, but I already think I know the answer. I just want to make sure here. Okay. Savannah's, I want this answered by Jerome and Sherrod. Savannah's guides. Savannah's current relationship. Okay. Oh, thank you, Savannah. Okay. Thank you. All right. Move these here. Okay. All right. Sorry, I just was confirming. Okay, so Savannah, they said that they like, I believe, well, it's kind of cloudy. The way they're answering it is different. It's kind of strange the way they're saying it. Okay, so basically, the relationship is fine for now. And they said, the way they said it was like they don't have any feeling about it one way or the other as far as it liking it or not liking it. They said it's going to serve a purpose, and to enjoy it, let it serve its purpose. Every relationship, there's a lesson to be learned from, but they're saying that they do not see this as being a long-term relationship or a long-term lesson. They're saying just enjoy it, get what you need from it, have fun, but that this is not necessarily a relationship that's going to last forever or a really long time, but there are some good things that are going to come out of it. But they're saying that that's really up to you. And like I said before, we predict our future. We can change our future. We set it. So I can predict one thing right now, but you could change it tomorrow with a different choice that you make. But as of right now, they're telling me that you're not soulmates, you're not twin flames, but this can definitely serve a purpose. They really don't, like I said, have a feeling good or bad about it. It's just what it is. It's meant to serve this purpose and teach you something. You enjoy it while it lasts, but it's not going to necessarily be a lifelong thing. They said there are some good lessons and there's some not so good lessons in this relationship. Even the not so good lessons are ones that you should still be grateful for. And I'm not saying like feel grateful for something if he hurt you or, if you get hurt, but be grateful from what you get out of it in the end as far as a life lesson, and where it's going to take you and help you in future relationships, if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you? Okay, you've known that for a while now. Good. Okay. And I got that feeling. I feel like they're telling me you already kind of know in your heart how this is supposed to go. But things can change, and they just want you to know that no matter what happens with it, it's still definitely helping you, teaching you, and yes, growing. You just popped up saying helping you grow, and that's exactly right. That's where they were going with it. Oh, well, welcome back, Storm. Okay, Savannah, real quick, let me get with your grandfather. Let's see if we can connect. And then I'm going to move on to Jennifer. Jennifer, let me know if you're still here, because we definitely want to take care of you as well, Jennifer. But I want to see if we can get Grandpa to come through real fast here. Okay, Savannah's. Okay. Michael. Okay. I'm being told he is here, but I asked if I could connect with him, and they said no. And I said, but he is here, and they said yes. So for some reason, he and I personally cannot connect. Could be energy, frequency being off. It could be a lot of things. Could be he doesn't know how to communicate with a medium. But I did hear that somebody else can help relay the messages, like your guides or his guides can help. So let's just go with this and see what we can get out of it. It's not going to be as clear and great as a direct connection, but I still could possibly get some message to him and from him for you. So let me see if I can get a message from him. But Savannah, if you had one thing that you could ask or say to him, what would it be? And while you're answering that, I'm going to see what I can get from him. Okay, so right off the bat, your guide who's translating for him said that he wants to say that he loves you and that he's watching you. Excuse me, let me get shift position here. He loves you, and he's basically said he's been watching you grow, and he's proud of you, and that he wants you to know that he's watching. And then you asked about his legs, or your leg, excuse me, so let me ask. Okay. He laughed when I asked him that. And he said yes, but he's not the only one, and it's not just your leg. Have you felt somebody like brush your hair or your head before, or felt like your hair moved, but there wasn't like a fan or wind blowing? Okay, because he said it's him and a couple of your guides. They're trying to get your attention. They're trying to let you know that they're with you and that they're always with you, that you're never alone. And this serves as a purpose of validating that they're there, they love you, and they're there to support you. But it's also, they're wanting to get your attention to let you know that it's time that you're supposed to continue this awakening, and that now is the time to be communicating with them more. So he started laughing, like as if this wasn't all the time thing, and sometimes you notice it, sometimes you dismiss it. But this is them, and if you feel a tickle or something brush by you, that's them. That's them trying to get up enough energy to get your attention, but without totally scaring you and freaking you out. So yeah, he laughed at that because he's like, yeah, but I'm not the only one. He said something about an elbow too, like he brushed your elbow, or I don't know if he brushed your elbow, but he also showed me you like bumping your elbow. Did you like get recently, like, I'm always feeling like you got, like they went to touch you or something and you bumped your elbow, and it was like an accident, like you thought you hit it on accident, but he's worried that they actually accidentally made it happen because they were trying to touch you and it kind of threw off your energy. Do you remember recently bumping your elbow? I'm thinking it was like against a wall or a corner or something. Okay. Okay. He said yes. Okay, you do remember that? Well, he's taking responsibility for that and saying he's sorry about you bumping your elbow. Like, it was not on purpose, but kind of threw you off and you didn't know it. You didn't even realize that it kind of threw your energy and your balance off a little bit and caused you to bump it. I mentioned the ball bag and he said yes. And he smiled. But I also saw golf tees for some reason. Did he or does somebody in the family golf? Oh. I trying to figure out why he's showing me these golf tees. Let me think. What about putt-putt, like miniature golf? Did you or have you played miniature golf? Because once I said, what about golf, the words miniature golf or putt-putt popped into my head. But I don't know if it's from him or just my imagination. Okay, Anita, who's Melvin and Paul? Grandma's brothers do. Okay. All right, so let me ask him how this is relevant to them and if that's what he's referencing. Okay. And is your grandma still living? His ex. And I do believe it's in reference to the brothers because he's now showing me a really pretty golf course. And he's showing me two guys golfing, but he's saying this in something to do within reference to your grandmother. So I'm wondering if she's still alive or if she's passed. Let me check here. Okay, yeah, I felt like she was still alive because he's saying he still keeps tabs on her. He still keeps an eye on her. And I feel like the brothers, he's showing me two of them golfing, but I feel like he's telling me that one of them went golfing not too long ago, and he was there because he's basically saying, I have nothing better to do. So I go and watch over everybody, even, ex-brother-in-laws, even ex-wives. But he wants you to know and to tell your grandma that he still watches over her. And he still cares about her enough that he checks, on her family as well. Because he said these people were my family, even through marriage, and that marriage ending doesn't take away that love and affection that you have for those people. So he's basically alluding to the fact that he still watches over grandma, he watches over you and your family, and that he's aware of all these things that are going on. Ashley, yes. Melanie, you were right before Melanie, and we already did Melanie. I'm doing Jennifer next because she's been waiting this long, but if I still have enough energy and can do another one after Jennifer, and you stick around, Ashley, wait a minute, where'd you go? Sorry, here we go. Ashley, if you stick around, if you're able to stick around for the next hour after I do Jennifer, if I'm able to do another, I'll go ahead and squeeze you in. But I do need to do Jennifer because she's been waiting all this time and she knows she's next. I'm finishing up right now with Savannah. I'm about to do Jennifer in the next 5 minutes. Okay, Savannah. Yeah, I definitely feel that he loved them very much. Aw. That's it. You're very welcome, Savannah. Okay, so just trying to get this all clear and wrap my mind around it. So Michelle, are you related to Savannah and Anita and Melanie? The whole family? Sorry, I'm just catching your comment, Michelle. And yes, he does. He sounds very amazing. Oh, thank you, Anita. Well, I'm glad to help. Very glad. Okay, so she's your niece. Okay, thank you. So he made fun of golfers too? Because I saw that part, but I only read, I saw the back side of it, and I didn't even see who wrote that. I thought it might have been you, Michelle, but I wasn't sure. Okay. So we've got the whole family here now. Wow. That's really cool. Okay, well, I may have a hard time keeping that straight, so just don't hold me to it, okay? You'll just have to remind me next time. Okay, well, thank you very much for letting me read for you guys. That was amazing and awesome for both Melanie and Savannah. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Jennifer now, but let me say goodbye and thank Grandpa real quick here. He loves you very much, all of you. It is one nice family affair. I like it. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Love you too. Okay. All right. Bye to Grandpa. Thank you. All right, so Jennifer, you're up next. Jennifer, if you'd let me know your question if you have one, who you'd like to connect with, if anybody, and what type of reading. And while I wait for that, I'm going to finish disconnecting here from Savannah and prepare to connect with you. Okay. I need to fix my candle here. I have to relight my beehive candle every half hour or so. Oh, thank you, Storm. You too. Thanks for everything that you do. You have a great week. Okay. Oh, I lit it and it went out. Okay. Well, I guess I'm not lighting that one. Okay, Jennifer. Okay. Jennifer, you still with us? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I saw it now. It went way past your comment. Dad, brother, or spirit guides have any messages? Okay, Dad, brother, guides. X and I. Okay. Let me see here. Make sure I didn't miss anything else. Tammy, I apologize. I missed your comment. Let me check here where you're at on the list. Tammy Lockwood. Okay, yeah, Tammy, if you're still listening, I know you asked this a little bit ago. If you're still listening, I will not be able to get to you tonight because after Jennifer, I'm doing Ashley, and I'm probably going to have to wrap up. But even if I could still go, Kimberly would be next, then you. So even if I could get in Kimberly, I would be totally wiped by that point. So no, I apologize. I won't be able to get to you tonight. But I'm definitely doing Jennifer now and Ashley, and I may get to Kimberly tonight. I may not. So just any of you that are still waiting to be read tonight, and that's the only reason you're hanging on, just know that if you're not Jennifer, Ashley, or Kimberly, I won't be able to get to you tonight. Definitely do Jennifer. I'm going to try and definitely do Ashley, and I'll probably be done there. It'll all depend on if I can even get through Ashley's or not. You're welcome to follow along and listen. We want you here to just be with us, but I'm just letting you know in case you need to go, and you're hoping that I might make it to you and you're holding on for that. So let me make sure I didn't miss anything else. I know, Penny Lane, isn't it great? I mean, just the collective of us being together raises our vibrations. So it's totally awesome. I love it. Okay, Tammy, that would be great because chances are, the way it's looking, we're getting really close to where you're at. I mean, if more people show up that are ahead of you next week, we might not, but it is very likely we will get to you next week, Tammy. Thanks for joining us, though. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Michelle. I missed you too. I missed everybody. Okay, so let's get to Jennifer. Let's see, Jennifer, who comes through for you. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry, it takes a minute to do this. Sometimes I connect with your higher self or your third eye. It helps me better connect to loved ones that may have trouble coming through to have that connection to you. So what I do then is after I connect with you and your third eye or your higher self, I then have to say, Jennifer would like to speak with her dad. Jennifer would like to speak with her brother. Jennifer would like to speak with her guides. Sometimes I have to say that 2 or 3 times before somebody comes through. So it always takes a minute or two. Oh, you're welcome, Tammy. Thank you. Love you too, sweetie. I look forward to seeing you next week. Okay. All right. Jennifer, it does look like I'll be able to connect with one, if not both, your dad and brother. And I can always connect with the guides. That's never a problem. At least one of them. Do you know a Dawn, Jennifer? It can be living or deceased, family member or friend. Dawn and Jennifer. Okay. And I'm also hearing Tracy. Tracy. Okay, you don't know a Dawn. Okay, that's fine. I'll check on that. What about a Tracy? Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, it's fun talking to divine beings. So it's just a second ago I asked if Dawn was a male or a female, and I heard male, man. Okay, you have a friend named Tracy living. Okay, we'll get to that in just a second. So I said, okay, it's a male. So I went and explained to you and read your comments, and I come back and I forgot that I already asked. I was like, okay, so is Dawn, I asked again, is Dawn a male or a female? And I got female this time. And I'm like, wait a minute, it dawned on me that I had already asked. And I heard male. So I'm like, wait a minute, you just told me a minute ago that Dawn was a male. And then they said, well, male, female, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, oh, is Dawn an angel? And they're like, Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, then that makes sense. No gender specific. They just appear one way or another for our purpose. And I'm like, can you be a little easier with me? Not trying to confuse me? And they're just laughing at me. Okay, so Dawn is an angel of yours. Let me see. Dawn, show yourself. Okay, the reason he said male first is because he's appearing as a male. He's got dark short hair, straight, but it's short enough that it kind of curls just a little bit. Not like on the end, just kind of lifts up and feathers a little bit. It's got a dark brown, not quite black, but real dark brown. He's light complected, medium build, not real thin like a couple of the others that I've had tonight. But he's not real big either. But he's got some muscle tone to him. And a lot of angels for me wear like a tunic and either like almost like a kilt or skirt kind of looking thing that the male angels would wear. I'm asking about Tracy. Okay. All right. It's not referring to your friend, Tracy. I always ask just in case. Because this could have been your dad or your brother mentioning your friend, Tracy. But in this situation that they're not referring to your friend, this Tracy is a spirit. And it's your other guide stepping forward. Excuse me. So this Tracy's not an angel, but like a human spirit that's your guide. Female. Medium dark, excuse me. Medium brown hair, curly, about between shoulder and ear, so right about here. She looks like maybe in her early to mid 40s. Average size and build, a little bit shorter, maybe 5'2", 5'3". Okay. So I'm asking them to let me connect with your dad and your brother. So they're stepping aside for a second. And I asked who was here first, and I heard brother. Is your brother older than you? Are you the little sister? And did he like to tease you a lot, make fun of you a little bit, razz you a bit? Because he's making me feel like, yeah, that's my little sister. I like to give her a hard time. But that's what big brothers do, is how I feel like he's coming across. Like it's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, you're the baby. Aw. He said it's what we're supposed to do, but we're also supposed to protect her. Because he heard me say, you're the baby. And he said, yeah, I'm supposed to protect her. Okay, you were teens when you... Yeah, it's a tough time, isn't it? Wow. And he's saying he's sorry for that. He's saying he's sorry, and he's taking responsibility for it somehow. He's saying, I should have been there for you. I should have been there to protect you. He said, I can watch over you now, but he's making me feel like he regrets not having been there for you when he was supposed to be. Sorry to hear that, Jen. Oh, sorry, dropping my crystals. He's telling me that he's taking responsibility for it because he feels like he could have prevented it. Does that make sense? Was he sick prior to passing, Jen? Oh. Oh, he said, tell her I'm here. I just read it and he heard it in my head. Okay. Yeah, and he feels very responsible for that. Even though I feel like he knows that in a way he really couldn't have prevented it, he feels guilty. Like he feels like he should have done something to stop it from happening. And he's taken responsibility for that. But he's also accepting that he knows it was his time to go. Okay, I'm asking about him being sick because I got the feeling like maybe not before his death, but right before. But I heard the word lungs, and I feel like he may have he or somebody very close to him, probably not too far before he passed, had something going on with the lungs. I'm almost feeling like pneumonia or asthma, where you have trouble breathing. And if it wasn't him, then it was somebody very close to him. And I don't know how long ago that was, if you would remember that or not. But he's very clearly showing me the chest and like alluding to the lungs. So does that make sense to you at all? And that's why I asked if he was sick, because I wasn't sure if it was prior to his passing or related, because I didn't get to asking him what had happened yet at that point. Your mom has asthma. Okay. Let me ask him if that's what he's alluding to. Has she been having, and Dad has sleep apnea. Okay. Have one of them been flared up this fall or this last season or so? Because I feel like one of the other, whoever he's talking about, he's referring to now. He's making me feel like they've been affected recently or not too long ago. And he was present and aware of it, and he was there and experienced it with them. And that's why he's bringing it up, because he's concerned. Okay. I do feel like it's Mom that he's talking about, and he's just showing that brotherly concern or the son concern. He's saying that there's been a lot of things happening around her recently that I think could trigger it. Oh, poor babies. Oh, that's awful. I hate the croup. Oh. You feel so helpless. You can't help them, and they just hack and cough and can't breathe. It's awful. But yeah, I feel like he's saying that, yeah, he's saying there's been a lot of triggers lately, Mom, and you need to be careful because it's going to flare it up. It's making you worse. I feel like she's right on the verge there of having some attacks that she might not even really be quite aware of, that she's so close to having an attack. And he's just wanting her to kind of be more aware of what's going on around her and try and prevent the triggers if possible, if at all possible, and just be really careful. And he says she's okay. It's just natural for me to be concerned because I'm there and I'm watching it. Okay. Oh, she has heart issues as well. Okay, well, that between the two, that definitely validates his concern over the chest. Yeah, he's definitely concerned about the stress for sure. He's saying don't put up with no BS. I don't know what's stressing her about living with him, but basically your brother is saying tell her not to take any BS. He seems like a real, I don't know how to describe it, almost not macho, but like a real man's man. Kind of makes me like, gives me the impression almost of like a New York firefighter, like you would see that would be like, I don't feel like, I don't know, I'm not saying this is exactly how he is, it's just like all I can do to explain it. Like a New York, like an Italian New York firefighter would be like really strong, in the sense of, yes, your brother that passed, in the sense of how he comes across and is talking to me. He seems confident. So I don't know if he was like that in lifetime, but that's how he's coming across now. So I don't know if he gained some confidence in his passing, but which is always possible because they learn a lot. But I don't know. I just like how he comes across. He's like he's like a tough guy, but yet charming, and would like have, you can tell has a soft side, like a soft part to him. Does that make sense? Okay, was a ladies' man, very confident. Yeah. I don't know. Sorry, it's hard to describe something that you're only hearing through a few sentences of words, but it's like just that vibe that I get. But yeah, he's super sweet. Yeah, very smart and tough. Yeah. And he wants to take care of his little sister, and he wants to take care of his mama, and I can tell he's very protective, and he is definitely protective of you now and watching over you now. He said, "Don't worry, I got your back." I heard, did he happen to call you Jen Jen? And that might not be the case. The only reason I say that is because when he said, "Don't worry, I got your back," he went to say Jen, and it sounded like an echo, like it said it twice. Sometimes that's just a hiccup with my clairaudience or the way he says things, but sometimes it's actually relevant. Sometimes it's not a mistake. So I'm just trying to figure out, did he call you that, or was that just the way it came through? Does he play with the girls? Let me ask him. Oh, he said yes. Oh, well, maybe he meant to say it that way then. That's cool. Yes, he does play with the girls, and he said especially recently are the girls who the babies that have been sick, because he makes it sound like lately they needed more cheering up, and he's trying to make them smile, he said, which is really sweet. Okay, to keep things flowing, I'd like to move on to your dad if we can. So do you have anything else you'd like to say to your brother before we talk to your dad? I don't want to rush you. I just want to try and get both of them in for you before we go and have to move on, because I also need to conserve my energy too. They laugh at the air. Yeah. Yeah, that's him. Oh, he said Dad does too. Aw. And he said they have angels that talk to them too. So don't be surprised if you see them laughing or smiling, um, just because of that alone. So that's really cool. He said they got a lot of protection around here. That's awesome. Oh, okay. He said, I will. We will. Will do. Yeah, that's super cool. Aw. Well, they are definitely watching over you and protecting you for sure. Okay, let's see what Dad says. Oh, I asked if your dad had anything to say, and he said, yeah, we take care of my girls. We look after my girls. Um, yeah, that's sweet. Hi, Nachiketa. Um, Dad is, do you live in an apartment, Jen? An apartment or a condo or something similar? Semi apartment or a condo? I'm asking him why. But I semi detached. Okay. Just the room that they're showing me looks like it. I don't see it from the outside. I'm only seeing it from the inside. And the way it's laid out in the inside looks more like an apartment than it does a house. But let me ask him why he's showing me that. Okay, you have mentioned a couple of times that you really need protection right now. And I feel like he's showing me your apartment, your home, in relation to that. Is there a danger or a risk of danger of someone? And you don't have to go into it if you don't want to, Jen. But I feel like he's telling me, and it's hard because I'm just putting pieces together, a picture here, a feeling here. But I feel like he's telling me that he wants, that he doesn't, or that he's worried about your being safe in that apartment or that home. Does that make sense? Um, in the sense of, I almost feel like it's not um, like he's not telling me this, but like directly, but I almost feel like he's alluding to the fact that like we need to put more locks on the door. And like I said, I'm not aware of your situation. I just feel like he's saying that this home he wants to make it safer, like he wants to reinforce it. And I feel like he's just saying this out of concern for his daughter, like he wants to protect you. Oh, and he's showing me like building a fortress around you. Like if he could do that, he would do that for you. Your ex, okay. Yeah. See, Dad's having more difficulty communicating than your brother did, and that's typical from one spirit to the next. Sometimes it comes through very easily and I get full sentences and lots of words, and then the next spirit may just give me images, pictures, feelings. And I just feel like he's saying, he made me feel like, he's showing me these pictures and made me feel like you were not as safe as he'd like, that somebody could come to your home. And don't worry, I don't feel like he's predicting anything. I don't think he's like warning you of anything. He's not making me feel like urgent warning or anything like that, so I don't want to concern you. I just think this is a basic concern of a father for this situation. Like he's aware of it. This is a way of validating that he's aware of what's going on and he doesn't like it. And what father would if you have an ex that is concerning you? So, I don't want to alarm you or make you feel like Dad's trying to say something bad's going to happen. I just think it's typical, normal concern that any father would have for their child in a similar situation. So, in this situation, he did get a sentence out. I heard watch back. So he's like saying, just watch your back and don't take anything for granted. Just be careful. I feel like he feels like you're handling things well as can be expected in this situation. And he doesn't feel like you're doing anything to antagonize this situation or make it worse. It's just what it is. And I feel like he's knowing what I just said about a prediction or a warning. He's like now trying to reconfirm that he doesn't want you to worry. He just wants you to be safe. Like, no, I don't know anything that you don't know. He's making me actually feel like he feels like this situation will pass in time with your ex. I don't know exactly what's going on, but he's making me feel like in time that he's going to get distracted and eventually lose interest or not be as interested or concerned about you and in this situation. That I don't know if he's going to meet someone else. I almost feel like he's going to meet someone else or something's going to change in his life that's going to kind of distract him and take his focus off of you. And I feel like Dad's saying, hang in there, that be careful, watch your back, but in time, this will change for the better. It's not going to be like this forever with this guy. Your guides just spoke up and said, just to be safe, call on Archangel Michael for protection and visualize putting a violet dome over your home and everything in it. And imagine that like becoming rock hard like a shield, and ask Archangel Michael to fortify that, to protect you and everything in your home. And you can do the same thing at work or in your vehicle, to protect you against anything negative. You can also ask your guides to remove any negative or non-beneficial energy around your ex and this situation that could lead him to doing anything that you don't feel good about. You hear he's with someone now. Yeah, okay. I feel like this one that he's with is not the one that's finally going to get him his focus off of you completely. I feel like this is a stepping stone, that this whoever he's with right now is going to help a little bit, distract him a little bit, but not as much as this other woman that's going to come into the picture fairly soon. I feel like he's going to be more consumed with her. So don't be discouraged if, even though he's with this new person, if it doesn't completely die down yet, because I feel like it will soon, but this isn't the person that's going to be that distraction. Yeah. I do feel like this woman's going to help, but she's not going to be as much of a help as the next person. I could be wrong about that. That's just the energy I'm feeling about it around the situation. But yeah. Good. Good. The order, hopefully that order combined with female insight from whoever he's with, not wanting him to break the law, will hopefully definitely help. And at least you've got that order, so if he does, you have a leg to stand on as far as getting some action. So that's good. Okay, do you have anything else you want to ask either one of them? And I'm going to also finish up by just asking your guides if they have a message for you. And then Ashley, are you still with us? Ashley Gnome? Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, isn't that the case? My gosh. It's like that order isn't enough a lot of times, but having a new person in his life could make the difference in that, though. Because sometimes that person can be the voice of reason and say, look, you're going to go back to jail if, you contact her or go near. Okay. Your guides just told me to say positive affirmations around this situation, like, he's going to leave me alone. He's going to lose interest. He's going to get distracted. He's going to leave me alone. I'm protected. My babies are protected. Saying things like that. It will take you out of a place of fear and concern and help manifest the positive energy around the situation. So that's what they're recommending. Let me ask your dad, even though I'm sure I know the answer, but let me ask him. He said, very, very much so. He said, you've grown up to be a really great woman, a good mother. He said, a good sister, a good daughter, just all around good girl, is how he said it. He's definitely proud of you. But was he one that didn't like come out and say I love you a lot? Like you might have known that he loves you, but like he didn't like offer those words all the time, every day, like some dads do. Wow, that's crazy. Tried to murder his ex and he harassed her for years. Oh, wow. My goodness. I can't imagine what that must be like. Yeah, okay, that's how I feel his personality is. And when I just mentioned that, he is like, I feel like he made me feel like that because he wanted to bring that up. Like I know I didn't say it that much, like I should have, or as much as I should have. But I hope that she never doubts that how much I love her, because I feel like he's sad to think that you would even need to ask that he was proud of you. Like, not sad on your end, but sad on his end. Like, why wouldn't, what, you know, I feel like he thinks that it's his fault that you would even question whether he's proud of you or not. Like, he really should have told you more. Or he feels like he wasn't able to. He, I feel like there was a reason why he wasn't able to. Um, I'm just hearing, I'm listening to him. I'm trying to figure out what he's talking about. Okay. And now because I'm trying to figure this out. Before he passed, was there ever a time when he couldn't communicate? Like it towards the end? Because he's trying to tell me something and not quite clicking here with me as to what he's meaning. And don't feel that way, Jen. You're definitely not a letdown. And I can tell that just from what your dad and your brother are saying, let alone just talking to you. I feel like you've had a lot of circumstances around you that you couldn't control. And they're affecting you in a huge way. And you need to realize that a lot of this is not your fault and you can't help it. And I'm talking in general of a lot of stuff, not just this ex situation. I'm talking about the way your life is right now. Like you've had a lot of obstacles and things get in your way that are not your fault. And some of it's a part of your life lessons, things that you're learning and need to learn. And you're growing through it all. Okay. I think he's alluding to the fact that you didn't communicate much. And possibly the end when he couldn't talk or tell you what he wanted to. I feel like there's a reason why he couldn't talk to you, and it hurt. He's like alluding to that it hurt him, it bothered him more than he was able to communicate to you. And he wants to make sure you know that he really wanted to talk to you more. But I'm trying to figure out what kept him from being able to talk to you. Because if it was just a personal choice, then of course that was his choice, and I'd want to know why he feels that he couldn't. Or was something actually standing in the way, preventing him from being able to communicate with you? Besides the fact that he died suddenly, because obviously that he could be talking about as well. Leaving too soon to be able to tell you what he truly felt. But I feel like he's talking about in life too. Oh, okay. Let me ask him if that's what he means. Oh. Yeah. That's what he's talking about. And he's not talking so much about you being a horrible teen. He's talking about, in general, that you were you and he was he, and you couldn't find a common ground. And he didn't know how to talk to you. He didn't know how to get through to you. He was I feel like he's saying he knew if he tried to push it on you that it would cause more problems. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah, I do feel like he regrets that, and he wishes that he had told you more. That he told you he loved you and that he was proud of you then. Because he feels bad now that you wouldn't know that he's proud of you now. And he gets it. When I told him what you said about just feeling like you're letting him down now. But he's saying, yeah, but I feel like if I had told her more when I was alive, that she'd know no matter what she does or what happens, that I'm still proud of her and I still love her. And he's basically apologizing for that, saying I wish it had been different. I wish we had been able to open up to one another and talk to one another like that back then. So he's saying it now. He loves you, and he is proud of you. He said you were a teenager. Not horrible, very typical for a lot of teenage girls. A lot of teenage girls and their fathers clash, trust me. My dad and I did. I wasn't all that bad, but I could be at my moments, and we definitely were like fire and ice and everything else. Oh, he said thank you for that. He said your kids will experience it one day because he said, yeah, isn't that right, Karma? I know. I do too. I get it. Trust me, Jen. I get it. I get it. I get it. And mine's a good girl, but oh my gosh. Talking about the moods. Oh my goodness. Ugh, I love her to death, but sometimes we literally just bang heads like crazy. But anyway, yeah, Dad is saying that you were a typical teenage girl. This is not an uncommon relationship. And he should have still told you the things that he needed to tell you. And he's saying your girls might not experience it right now the way you hope they would, like with a dad there for them that they can count on. But he said on a soul level, they know and remember what it's like to have a good father, to have a good grandfather, and their soul knows that they have these male figures around them and in their life protecting them and loving them. And one day they'll return to that, to have their uncle and their grandfather there, and everybody will be reunited. And he's saying, and it's not too late to say that you won't meet somebody one day that can fill that role for them. So don't lose hope. He said we need to remember that we're all spirits living in this earth life right now, but this is just temporary and it's just one sliver of our full journey. And that they're going to learn from this experience what they need to learn spiritually, but they're never going to doubt that they're loved and taken care of because of you and because of the spirits and the guides around them and the male figures around them. And once this passes, everybody will be together to experience the true love, the unconditional love that they can now give, that they're on the other side. It's just one part of the journey. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, because we're human. Because we're human, and it's really hard to see past what we're going through at the moment. And that's totally understandable. Your guides are saying, just remember, Jen, that now more than ever, we are creating our own reality. So every day that goes by, we are coming closer and closer to a point where we manifest things instantly. Yes, it's not here yet, but we are still working on that and putting that energy out into the universe. So they're saying, please don't lose hope. Please know that things are going to get better, and it's going to be sooner than you think. And that it's really important for you now more than ever to be as positive as you can. They understand the circumstances. They're with you, so they get it. They know what you're living through. But to try to be as positive as you can and give each situation as much love as possible, even though at times I know that seems impossible. But also cut yourself some slack, because you are human and you are going to struggle, and that's natural. You can't be happy, crazy positive all the time, and they get that. But try to do that so that you can create as much positive energy around you and your kids as much as possible, and it will help make the situation better. Yeah. Well, that is a perfect word for it, Jen. Pray. Because my guides have told me many, many times that when I start to fear or worry, turning to prayer actually helps lift that fear and that worry up and puts it into a different vibration and a different mode, perspective, and way of thinking. And it really does help the brain to release some of the worry and fear. So definitely pray or ask your guides or whoever you feel comfortable asking to help you through these situations, and trust and know that they will. They will. And these things are going to resolve and get better. And for those that choose to follow their spiritual path and work with their guides, those people are guaranteed to get out of this crazy 3D negativity muck. So, have faith and hang in there. It is going to get better. Every time you need that strength, pray or ask your guides for that help, and take it one step, one day at a time. Try not to look at the future too far, because then it becomes overwhelming. I mean, have faith and hope looking at the future. As if you're going to look at the future, look at it as, one day I'll be out of this mess. One day things will be better. But other than that, don't look at the future for anything more than that. Take one step at a time, one day at a time, and know that each day is going to get better. And you may have a setback before it totally does, but it is and it will. And I can assure you this because Spirit has been telling me this a lot for the people I'm reading for, and I have to believe that it's true, because it's not just my guides saying it, but it's their guides, and I'm hearing it universally for everybody that is open to spiritually growing and ascending, it's going to get better. All of these circumstances are. Yeah, definitely. You can talk to them anytime you want, anytime you need to. Good. That's great. Well, Jen, you know what? My message box is always open. If you just need to talk, need to vent, need somebody to listen, don't hesitate to write. It may take a little bit to get back to you because of having a special needs son and a teenager and some other things going on, but I definitely will. So yeah, can't get worse. It's only going to get better. You can do this. You can, because you are tremendously strong and amazing, and you need to remind yourself of that. You are a divine being. You have oneness with us and with God and the universe. Just you coming to me and asking for advice on these things and turning to your guides, and everything that I've heard from this reading tells me that you are on your spiritual path and you're headed in the right direction, and that you are tremendous and strong, and you have your guides with you. You have God, creator, source within you, and you're all part of that. So you're being divinely guided and protected, and it's all going to be okay. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, I have 3, but then I've also got 2 extras with the +1s for both of my older kids, and 2 of my 3 are special needs. So, yeah, we understand each other. Okay, Jen. Well, keep me posted and let me know if you ever want to talk, okay? But you definitely have your daddy and your brother watching over you, along with Tracy and Dawn, but that's just 2 of your many guides. So you've got an entire team watching out for you. So hang in there. We're going to get through this. I'm not going through what you're going through, but got my own set of stuff I'm dealing with, and I think we all do to some degree. So we're all going to get there. We are. I don't know about everybody, but us, our community, we are. All right, Jen. Well, thank you very much for letting me read for you. And Ashley, are you still here? That took a little longer, but it was needed. So Ashley, let me know if you're still with me. Yes, okay. Yay, Ashley. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and read for Ashley, and then I'm going to finish up because that'll probably put us to 2 o'clock, maybe a little bit after my time. So, Ashley, what kind of reading would you like? In other words, do you want a card reading, mediumship, pendulum, or a combination of whatever, all and whatever you need? Do you have a specific question you'd like to ask? And do you have anybody specific you'd like to connect with? If you could let me know those 3 things, we can go ahead and get started. And while I wait for that, I'm going to disconnect from Jennifer and her loved ones and prepare for you. So give me just a second. All right. Ashley. Guides. Oh, you're so easy. Oh, that's right, Renee. When I heard Rachel, I was like, I know 2 different friends that have Rachel as a guide. Oh, wow. Yeah, I will. Because she's here for a reason, so I definitely need to figure it out. So yeah, I will do that. If I start to finish without doing it, remind me, okay? All right, Ashley. Okay. Ooh, that's an interesting name. Never heard that one before. Sometimes when I hear these names, I know for a fact somebody's telling me something in my head because I couldn't make up some of this stuff. I do not have that good of imagination. Okay. Let's see. Find out more about this guy. Okay. He's awesome. I gotta check something. This is funny. Let's see. Give me just a second. I gotta look up. Yes, okay. Okay, so your first guide that's coming through, he's awesome. Okay, his name is Grundle. Grundel, I believe. The L and the E could be switched, but it's Grundle or something very similar if I'm off on that. But he looks like a cross between Santa Claus and Hagrid from Harry Potter, the gamekeeper giant on Harry Potter. And that's when I wanted to pull up a picture. I don't know if you can see it without the glare. Darn it. Stupid glare. Here, if I hold it back. Helps if it stayed on there now, wouldn't it? Hold on, sorry. Here we go. Can you see that? Okay, but his hair isn't quite that dark. And he's not quite as hairy. He has long hair and a beard. It's kind of, like I said, a cross between him and Santa. And he isn't as big as Hagrid, but he's still a big guy. He's taller and stockier than usual. He's just like a big teddy bear. He's super cool. Let me see. I'd say he's in his mid to late 40s, appearing wise. And oh, now that's interesting. I asked what kind of a spirit guide he was, like kind of what his specialty is, and he's your helper healer guide. So like this is, you wouldn't, I don't know, just to me, I wouldn't think this big guy like this would be like a healer, but he is. So whenever somebody needs healing, you need healing, or you want to help somebody, you want information about healing, this would be the guy to go to. Now you can ask them about anything. Just because they have a specialty doesn't mean they can't help you with other things. If he's the only guide you know, which I'm going to try and find another one for you, but if he's the only guide you know, then you can call on him for everything. But that's his specialty, is healing and helping. So he's the first one. Let me see who else steps forward. Okay, I think you have about 6 guides with you right now. I'm going to get the name of another one, but I'm hearing you can have you personally normally can have anywhere up to 12 or 13 on a regular basis, but right now you have about 6, and they come and go. So that's why you have more at other times, depending on when you need them. Like if you're going through a more stressful time period or some big life event, then you'll have more come into your life at that time. If there's a huge life change, or you need to learn several lessons at once, or a big lesson, then more will come. But on average, they're telling me you usually have about 6 of them with you. Okay, so who else is here? Okay, I just gotta ask the pendulum to confirm, because you have some very interesting guides. Not that we don't all, but to hear these right off the bat is just gonna sound funny. So let me double check. Okay, I want Ashley's guides to answer this question. Is one of Ashley's guides named Amanda? Okay. Is Amanda. Yep. Okay. So I tell you about your giant grundle guide, and the next one that shows up, her name is Amanda. More typical name, right? But Amanda is a fairy. So you have Hagrid from Harry Potter and a fairy guide. Oh my goodness. If I didn't know this stuff was true and real, I would think I was crazy. Oh, she's cute. Okay, so she's got purple as her color. Purple energy around her. Light colored hair though. Real light blonde. Little purple dress. And she works with people as like you as a guide, but she also works with sprites, she just told me. Okay. Interesting. She's from the 5th dimension, which is super cool, because one day you're going to be there and you'll be able to see her in person. She said she comes to you a lot. So if you do meditate, you may see her or feel her as a sparkly purple kind of energy that you may see in meditation, or you may feel her energy and it may just feel that way to you. And you wouldn't know why unless I'm telling you. So that's why she wants me to tell you. Have I lost you totally, Ashley? Have you just like dropped off and said, I'm out of here yet? She's super sweet, super cute, and she's like really excited to introduce herself. not just to you, but to the whole group. Like she's really excited to talk to me and be known. Yeah, she answered. I see it now. Okay, so let's see what they have to say and if anybody else steps forward. Let's see if you have any human spirits or angels, which I'm sure you do, but if they step forward. I mean, Grundle is a human, but he's almost like a fantasy. He's so interesting. Is that a name of a guide? Okay. All right. Another interesting name. I asked another one to step forward to try and find a little more typical, and then I'm given the name Champagne. See, it could be Champlain. Champlain? It's Champlain, okay? Because once I said that, that's when they agreed it was Champlain. Oh, and she's an angel. Okay. She also has blonde hair, medium length. Wearing blue, has like a golden, again, a golden blue angel energy. And she is appearing like she's only like in her early 20s. Okay, so now that we've met 3 of them, let's ask for a message. What do they want you to know or tell you? Ashley, do you know that you're psychic? Because right away they come out and say that you're psychic, but I don't know if you know that or not. Telepathic, dreams, visions, clairaudient. Okay. Well, they're telling me you are. Yeah, you just haven't developed your abilities yet. Clairsentient. Okay. Now, I always, whenever I discover spiritual abilities, I always double check them on my chart because a lot of them sound very similar. And I don't want to tell you something and have it be wrong. So this takes a couple of minutes to clarify each one of these. I have charts that have each of the abilities on them. 2 different ones. And believe it or not, these aren't even a full complete list. These are just the most popular ones. So I'm going to confirm them. So they told me these things, but because it's easy to mix up clairaudience with clairsentience, clairsensitive, claircognizant, clairtangent, you get the point. I'm going to double check these with my pendulum so I have double validation before I pass them on to you all the way. So I want Ashley's guides to answer these questions. And even though you won't be able to see the actual words on the page, you'll at least be able to see what I'm doing here. Okay, is Ashley telepathic? Okay. The yes answer is horizontal through the word. No answer is vertical, striking out the word, like canceling it out. So is she telepathic? So that would be a yes. Check on that one. Is correct on that one. Is she clairaudient? And correct on that one. Clairsentient. Sorry, that one took a little longer, but it's correct. Is she clairvoyant? Okay, yes. And one more, and then we'll be able to talk about it. As soon as I find it. Okay. Sorry, I got one more because they just told me as I was finishing up to check this one too. Yep. All right. Okay. Good to go. Let's see. Um, okay. Hi, Delana. I'm finishing up. This is my last reading for the night because I've been going since 10 p.m. So if your name's on the list, you'll be continued over to next time. It'll stay on the list until you finally receive a reading. So yeah, I won't be able to do any more tonight because I'm losing my energy. That's why the pendulum was taking so long to get started going in the first place, which is a sign to me that I need to wrap it up soon. But I can finish this one, and hopefully if you join me next week, Delana, we might get to you next week. Okay, so here's the list. Ashley, I know this stuff is if you put your name in the comments, Delana, you'll still be on the list. We won't remove you unless you ask us to. And the only way you get removed is by getting a reading, and then you get removed after that.